I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey, AfterBuzzers! Welcome back to the Baker and the Beauty After Show, Episode 6. I'm your host, Chelsea Overrocker, and we have a full panel today. We have Zach Weinberg.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, Zach, and I noticed you have no hat today.
No hat. I finally got a haircut. It's been like months because of the queue. So I want to show off my hair, and where else to show it off than AfterBuzz TV?
Exactly. This is the new normal, to show it off during AfterBuzz through Zoom calls. We love the haircut, though. It looks great.
Thank you.
And you still have your drink.
Yes. Cheers.
Cheers to you. And then we had Haley Matthews.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Haley. And then last but not least, Amir Yaz.
Hi, y'all.
And Amir has the hat today.
My hair was not cooperating. Yeah, we flipped. We just went up. We went up and wore the hat.
You switched it.
Exactly.
And Amir here is also in our live chat. So if you're in the chat room, say hello. And if you're an Apple Podcast listener and want to join in, simply go to AfterBuzzTV.com, select the Baker and the Beauty After Show, and join on in. Okay, for today, we are going to be talking about Noa and Daniel. They have complications going on in their personal lives and how it's going to affect them as a couple. And Daniel's family has vocalized that Noa is causing the problems with the family. Do we agree with this? And then Natalie getting into a fight at school because she's defending her brother. Vanessa gets Mateo into a meeting with one of Miami's top producers, but things don't go as planned, and Mateo starts questioning his talent. And with our special segment with Haley, we're playing a game called Shadiest Garcia. So we're going to have her explain that to us a little bit later. And then for news and gossip with Zach, Daniel, Noa, and Vanessa might not get along on the show, but the actors have a great relationship off screen. Zach will talk about the behind-the-scene photos with the cast members, and then we'll have our predictions. But before we get into today's after show, what was your guys' overall thoughts?
I mean, the Garcias are falling apart, right? Like, this was the first episode where I feel like everyone was at odds with each other. Like, meltdown, like everyone was just upset and going through something in their own personal life.
Yeah. What about you, Haley?
This felt like the mid-season finale, if there was one. Like, this would be like the finale of the midway through it.
Yeah,
a lot happened.
A lot did happen this episode. It was very fast-paced. What about you, Amir?
It was kind of wonderful. I actually got to like watch it again. So I watched all the episodes and I binged it all together. So it was fun to watch it from the beginning and see all the drama kind of come together in this episode. And you can actually see the moments where their family starts to crack as you watch it from 1 through 6, because there's moments where Daniel starts choosing himself. And, unfortunately, being part of an immigrant family, I can relate. It's very much like a tribe mentality. And if you go on your own, you're being selfish and you're letting it down the family. And even the dad, like, I think Raphael on some level, when he mentioned like, oh, we're broke and da-da-da, and if you leave us, and he guilted Daniel into kind of staying, that's an immigrant gold, honey. That is the way to get people to do what you want. So I think the dad is to blame a little bit for that, making Daniel kind of feel bad.
Yeah. Well, I felt bad for the mom and the dad this episode. Their hearts shattered when they realized they got into this scam with the contractors. But I do like the overall message where they're saying, you know what, we're Garcias and we're going to create our own path. And they start tearing down the wall. So I thought that was a really cool lesson that the show brought into that. So let's just get into the show, shall we? Okay. So for topic 1, Daniel and Noa. It starts off with the interviewers surprising Noa and plays a clip of Vanessa telling her side, thinking her and Daniel will eventually work things out, and that she was shocked that Noa was there and showed up. In the video, Kirk, which was the character we met last episode, who's the shady reporter, states that he and Noa met before their breakup, and she told him about the soup. Daniel's like, we're going to end this. He pulls the fire alarm, and he's thinking he's doing everyone a favor, but it actually causes more issues because Noa didn't have a chance to defend herself. Do you think, first of all, do you think it wasn't right for that interviewer to put Noa on blast like that to totally blindside her? I think that's definitely, it shows in the relationship between Daniel and Noa that there are complications that come to dating when you are in the spotlight. And I think Daniel really got that clear message about that for this.
Yeah. I think this like episode just like really showed us like what like the behind the scenes are of like being a celebrity and how hard it actually is. And this episode also like kind of like explains why celebrities date other celebrities, because like it's so much harder to date someone who's not a celebrity just to get them like accustomed to the lifestyle, like the press, the publicity, like all this stuff. So it kind of makes sense why Daniel and Noa are starting to have like a rocky relationship. And like this was the first episode where I actually think that Daniel and Noa might not even end up together in the end anymore. Like my mind is just like switched from like at the end of the episode. Like I feel like Noa is just not into him anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, interesting.
Interesting. I kind of agree with that, Zach, because I think for the first time she saw him as more of a burden, or you know, someone that's going to maybe make her life more difficult than like easy breezy. Like it was fun for her to, you know, play dress up and pretend to be like middle class, you know, like I think it was fun for her to like put that on. And I think it's like no longer fun. It's like making her life difficult. And, you know, I worked with celebrities as a publicist, and a lot of times when they do interviews like that, that's our job, is to step in and say like, no more questions. But I think because Lewis took the phone call, that really set her up for failure, because there's no way if Lewis was in the room, he would have allowed that to happen, because that was like, you know, PR 101, not to allow that kind of personal question. But journalists do that. Like that's their job, is to kind of, you know, they want to see a reaction.
They do. And then that causes a whole bunch of problems with Noa's life. She might lose a position on the board. She's a president for her own company. They want to get rid of that for her. And then her spring line might get pulled as well. And then just for my sake, I'm glad that Noa finally clarified how her and Daniel met. It was just, we were wondering, okay, was she in the men's bathroom? Was that like a shared restroom? Because that was my first question from episode 1. And she's like, I just like to go in there because there's no light. So I had to make a point of that, because I was always wondering how that came about.
We actually have that in the live chat as well. So Dr. Daniel Scott is saying, I think Noa is done with Daniel. And then we have another person saying, let's see, that Noa is using the men's restroom because there's no line. They're like, so they're carefully watching everything. So
I'm glad that they brought that up, because like I always wondered that like from the beginning, but I was thought, okay, maybe like there's like gender neutral bathrooms, but it makes sense. And I feel like we finally got like the clarifications, or whatever I'm trying to say, is that like Noa meeting Daniel before Vanessa proposed put like the seed in Daniel's head that there's other options. Because I feel like Daniel's character, Daniel's character is such a pushover. Like it seems like this whole episode, he was just kissing Noa's ass the entire episode. Like he's so much more into her than she is into him. And I really feel like when Lewis said at the club the first episode, and he was like, she does this with all the guys, she meets them, she changes their world, and then she leaves them. Like I almost think that was like foreshadowing to what's going to happen. And that's kind of why I think that Daniel and Noa are not going to end up together.
What are you thinking, Haley?
I agree with what everybody said. I feel like it's kind of like, you know, you ever have like a crush on somebody, and then when you get to know them, you don't really like them anymore,
right?
Yeah.
all the time, Haley.
That's what they do.
Interesting.
I think Noa really did, and I think she does still really care for Daniel, but now that it's affecting her business life, that's when she has to take a step back. And when they were walking on the beach together, she's saying, my position is possibly going to get pulled. I have to do this on my own. And we finally know who Noa's father is, because that was a question that we had in episode 1 too. And he isn't really there for Noa. We kind of sensed it a little bit with the mom, how Noa was the one always taking care of her, especially when the mom got sick. But yeah, the dad, I want to see more interactions, hopefully next episode, between Noa and her dad, because it sounds like there's some back history going on between them too.
It just sounds like he doesn't support her, and I think we need to kind of figure out why that is. And hopefully we figure that out in the next episode, because we didn't really understand why he was out to get her.
Yeah. And I think that's why Noa is fond of Daniel because she sees that they are a close family, like they're there for each other. But Daniel, like you guys said, was pulling back a little bit from his family. When the dad was so excited about them being able to break down the wall, to be able to expand the bakery, he's saying, your son is going to be here. Is going to be here at moment later on, and you're going to be able to tell him that you were here when this all started. And that broke Daniel's heart. And he didn't have the courage at that time to say, hey, I might be leaving to Morocco to go be with Noa. But I do think the dad does bring a good point up, telling Daniel, since when did you want to be on TV? It wasn't always your lifetime goal. If your goal was really to have your own TV show for the food, with the Food Network, you would have been doing stuff with us from the beginning, because we work in a bakery. And now you just have this fantasy. Do you guys agree with what the dad was telling Daniel?
No, I disagree.
Oh.
I think Raphael is just saying that as a way to keep Daniel where he wants him. Unfortunately, I think the parents are amazing, but they're also very emotionally manipulative. So they're just like, they know how to kind of like use him as a chess piece. And like, Zach mentioned, he's not like simple, but he's just like a low key guy. And I think his parents are using that to their advantage. And the fact is, sometimes you figure out what you like by being in it. Like, not everyone, I don't know about you guys, but I don't know that I was like 5 years old and going, I want to be a host. Like, I fell into this and I was good at it. Like, there's a different energy. Like, I just feel like the dad kind of saying that is just trying to make Daniel question his motives, which I don't really appreciate. So,
and I agree with you in that essence, but I also think like Raphael has some good points. Like, Daniel's completely changed, I think, since dating Noa, and like, yeah, for the good in some ways, but I feel like he's for the bad in a lot of ways too. Like, he really is forgetting about his family, and I feel like he could be having like such a cool show, like of his cooking show, like if he stays in Miami, like he doesn't have to go to Morocco.
I have a question.
Yeah, go.
Do we think Daniel's interesting enough to have his own show?
He's good on screen.
I think he's quite good on screen. I think what Zach is bringing up that's really interesting to me is that it's like this idea that his parents are like kind of, they're not controlling him, but like even what you said, like he's not there for his family. I think that's like, I don't know if he's not there for them or is he setting a boundary? Like, I feel like immigrant families have no boundaries. And I feel like he's probably setting a boundary for the first time, where every time something goes wrong, Raphael's like calling Daniel. It's like, why don't you try to figure it out? You're the dad. Like, I just think it's frustrating that like, even the way he was making Mateo feel guilty for wanting to follow his dreams. Like, it seems like Raphael like wants his kids to be under his roof forever. And that's just not practical, in the long term.
I think with Daniel, we're seeing a character change. When we first got introduced to him in episode 1, he had a hard time breaking off with Vanessa. He wasn't quite invested in that relationship. The family wasn't there, but he had a hard time communicating that with her. As soon as he met Noa, he's able to tell Vanessa, no, this is not what I want. And he's kind of what you said, Amir, he kind of just fell into this, and he's discovering, okay, this is what I want in life. And I do believe every person that comes into your life, they serve some type of purpose. And maybe Noa, they might not be there forever, but I think Noa being there for Daniel, he's able to have a voice. And I see it get vocalized every single episode.
I think for that, like, I think Daniel's kind of just been letting life happen to him, but he's finally like doing something with his life now, and he wants to change. And I don't think his family's just used to that, because he's a really laid back man.
But
laid back or like no backbone. Like, I think that he didn't really have a backbone. Like, Vanessa's so aggressive, his mom's so aggressive, his dad's so aggressive, Mateo, Natalie, everyone in his life is so aggressive. And I think that a lot of people are agreeing in the chat as well. Billie Jean Girl 24, Daniel is easily manipulated by his parents, and now Noa. Dr. Daniel Scott. Daniel can be the Anthony Bourdain in Miami, which I like that. Personally, if a celebrity wanted to take me to Morocco, fully paid trip, I go. So I don't blame Daniel. That's a great perspective. Go is saying, how much did that family dinner affect Daniel's character? Which I really like that perspective of this, like family dinner is supposed to be this like very inclusive space. And I felt like everyone started turning on each other, and you see all the cracks in the family, even with Natalie's, personal life. I feel like the parents are, again, correct me if I'm wrong, when ostriches get scared and they stick their heads in the sand? I feel like the parents Raphael and Mari are kind of like that. Like the minute things go wrong, they're like, we don't even see it. Our daughter's not gay. Daniel's not different. Like Mateo's like the perfect son. And it's like, they're not those things. So I don't know. I just feel like I can relate to that because my parents were kind of like that as well. And I think people that have immigrant parents can relate because it's kind of this idea like we left our country for you kind of thing. So I feel like Daniel has that pressure on him.
Yeah, definitely. And then I do think, though, someone in the chat was saying, or no, I was actually you, Amir, that Daniel didn't have any backbone. I think in the beginning of earlier episodes, he didn't, but I am seeing a character change with him, especially when it comes to Noa. He is very protective over her, and that's something that we quite didn't see with him and Vanessa. And when the parents are saying, we're going to blame Noa for this is the reason why the family's fallen apart. Do we agree with that? Do we not agree with that? But Dan, you do agree with that, Haley?
No, that, like, them saying that annoyed me.
Yeah.
Because they're blaming a person that's not even in the family for their actions.
Yeah, they kind of have to look at their family as well, saying, okay, why is this happening? Yeah, Noa isn't your typical girl that you bring into your life, but at the same time, I don't think she's causing all of these issues. And Daniel even said, no, blame Vanessa for the interview. I don't exactly blame Vanessa either. Yeah, she was the one that did do the interview, but she was just sticking up for her side. And I do like how she told Daniel, she said all she did was tell the truth, and that's how everything happened. You might not like how the truth unfolds, but looking in the mirror can be cruel sometimes. So I think that's why we like Vanessa, is because when just from the parts that they showed from the clip of the interview, she was just telling her side, like, this is what happened. It's not like I don't feel like she was throwing anyone under the bus. And Daniel's just having a hard time, I think, accepting all of this. And I feel like he kind of has to blame somebody, but I really think he just needs to just take a look at himself and figure out, okay, what can I do to go on from here?
Absolutely. And also when he said I shouldn't have come here, she's like, we finally agree. And I was like, whoa. And she like, is it just me, or does she look like more attractive as well? Like she's more in charge. She's just like, yes. Yeah. So
this breakup was the best thing that ever happened to her.
Really good.
I think so too. I see more of a confident Vanessa, and she's that type of character that David brought in, who plays Mateo a couple of episodes ago as our guest. She's that character where we can have these discussions. Do we agree with what she's doing, or we don't agree? And I think Michelle, who plays Vanessa, does such a beautiful job, because we can allow us to have these conversations where either we're Team Vanessa, or maybe we're thinking, okay, she's very intense and very passionate about what she has to say. So that's why I really like the character of Vanessa. But Daniel, I think really, and I think Daniel really takes in what Vanessa was saying, because when he runs into Kurt, that shady reporter, he was at his last straw and punches him. And I don't blame him.
But it was the second time he saw him. It was the second time. So that guy's really
annoying.
Push it. Very annoying.
Really annoying. Daniel's just hit his breaking point. And I think Daniel is just kind of like confused about like who he is. Like, I almost feel like him dating Noa has just opened him up to so many things. Like, he needs to figure out who he is, because I really feel like he just lost himself.
He did.
That's true, because I think he's so invested in Noa that he needs. I think then maybe being apart, it's going to be good, because he's able to reevaluate and figure out his priorities as well. You could still be in a relationship with someone. I'm still rooting for Noa and Daniel, but I think it's a good time where Noa needs to take care of what she needs to do. She cannot get distracted, because she needs to keep her position on the board and deal with her dad. And then Daniel needs to be there with his family too, because his family's feeling hurt that he is always putting Noa first. And they've only been together, 3 or 4 weeks now?
That's it. Like under a month. It's a month, right?
Yeah.
They're moving fast though.
Very fast. And the thing is, with a celebrity, like I've worked with, celebrities like on that level of Noa, and being even in their camp is overwhelming enough, let alone when they start dating someone, they get vetted. You run through 40 people a day. Like and whatever life you do, even if you're successful, like one of our clients dated a reporter, it doesn't matter who you are, you will be thrown to the side. So I think Daniel's doing the best he can. And people in the chat are saying that losing yourself for someone is never worth it, but they don't understand this is an A-list celebrity. It's not just someone. It's very easy to get lost in that world. So,
and this is also a rebound for Daniel, honestly. Like, he literally started dating Noah hours after he ended with Vanessa. Like, this is kind of a rebound for both of them.
Oh, that's true, because she just got done with Colin as well.
Exactly.
I forgot about him.
Yeah, we'll see if he returns back later this season. But I think it was a really good perspective for Daniel to understand Noah, because in the beginning he pulls the fire alarm thinking, Noah, I need to protect her. She doesn't know how to defend herself in this situation. But really, it's Daniel who needs to be protected, because he was the one that freaked out on Kurt, and Luke lost it. And then that's when Noah said, I dealt with this my whole life, so I'm sorry that I put you and your family in this position.
Yeah, it's definitely overwhelming for Daniel. Like, he's getting paparazzi'd everywhere he goes. Like, he's so overwhelmed. Like, I kind of think he should go to Morocco just to get out of this, like, just to escape for a little bit, because there's so much craziness going on. But maybe not go for 3 months. Maybe just go for like 2 weeks, you know?
Yeah. Maybe he doesn't have to be gone the whole time either.
Yeah, that's what I keep thinking. I'm like, why does he have to go for all 3 months? That's so long.
I agree. But anyways, I'm still rooting for Noah and Daniel, but I do think this time apart will be good for the relationship, and who knows, it could bring them closer together. You never know. But we want to be able to send a quick message to our fans. Amir.
Hi, y'all. So thank you for being here with AfterBuzz TV. We're the ESPN of TV talk. We want you to like, comment, and subscribe on our page. We have a lot of lovely comments from last week's episode, which I will get to very soon. But I also wanted to let you know to go to Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars, and thank you for being here during quarantine. So I quickly have some of these comments from last week. Okay, so I'm gonna keep it real. Vanessa is by far the best character on this show. That's Jordan Davis. We could not agree more. We also had, very quickly, Free BD99 said, I believe that you guys are not really watching this show. I wonder if they are even watching the show. So I just wanted to address that real quick, because we love your comments. We love all of your feedback, but we definitely watched the show and actually rewatched it. And I wanted to kind of give you guys some tea. So the guy that plays Kurt, the shady reporter, he was Costas from Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. So that's a little throwback. And then the ex Colin, he plays the sexy guy that Samantha sleeps with in Sex and the City 2. So we're definitely watching the show, and we have some tea that's very under. And I'm actually doing a live with David Del Rio on Thursday on my Instagram. So we're in it, guys. I just want to make that very clear. And last but not least, we had a long comment from Noel, and I'll be honest and say I definitely don't listen to all of this. I jumped through 90% of it until you started talking about the part of the show I wanted to hear opinions on, which is Noah. And then she gave her 2 cents, which were a long paragraph. But we love the comments. We love the excitement of the show. This is a new show. Our first episode, we got a lot of likes and a lot of comments, and it's continued through all of our episodes. So we're here for it. Like, this is good for a show that's new. It's looking promising for a second season. So we're here for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And what you said, Amir, we do love your comments and your feedback, because watching the show, we're all going to have different perspective, different opinions about it. And, there's some people that love Noah and Daniel. There's people that are there for Vanessa. But we like hearing that, because that's what makes the show so interesting. So thank you guys so much for your feedback. And I just want to talk about Natalie and Amy and the bullies at school. And they call her Garcia Diggers, because it is now getting around. It's affecting Natalie's life between Daniel and Noah. And that interview that Vanessa did is causing Natalie some problems at school. But one of the girls said, your brother gave up a beautiful Latino queen for some rich white trash. And then Natalie just calls the girl out, and she walks away. She's like, okay, you know what? I said my 2 cents. I'm done. The girl's like, nope, punches Natalie.
A lot of violence this episode.
I did. And I felt bad for Natalie. I'm like, oh man, she's getting picked on. But when her mom is in the principal office she's like, I kicked that girl's ass. I was like, way to go, Natalie. She is not holding back. I'm really loving her as a character.
Yeah, and I want to say that I'm really like glad that Natalie's not getting bullied for being gay, because that's what I originally thought was going to happen at the high school scene. I hate watching bullies on TV. It like infuriates me, especially in high school. But
I never even thought of that. Oh my God.
I'm glad that they're bullying her for like her brother and not her relationship, even though like I don't want her to get bullied. She owned it when she snapped back, she clapped back at that girl.
Yes.
She was not here for it. I wonder what happened with that fight. Like, I guess, because it looked like from our perspective that the girl just punched Natalie in the face and knocked her out. But then I guess Natalie and Amy retaliated and like, popped them or whatever happened. But
yeah, when she was sitting with Mateo, she's like, I went.
Yeah, either way, like the mom Mari, she's just like not listening to Natalie. Like, listen to your daughter. Like, she didn't start the fight. Like, you didn't raise her to start fights. Like, why isn't she listening to what she has to say? It's making me mad.
Well, I can set some 2 cents on the parents, because I feel like I relate so much to the parents more than the other characters, because I see a lot of my own parents. Like, I think there's this idea of immigrant parents in front of white people, like in front of this, like, like Americanized, or like the principal, like they want to seem perfect parents. So I think the mom's now like, you're reflecting badly on me, where I think a lot of parents, in Americanized parents would be like, okay, like you made a mistake, I didn't. But I think immigrant parents, they bunch it together. So I think that's why, Mari is like, you're making me look bad, even though she loves her daughter and probably defends her, but in public, it's like a different thing. Which is why I love Mateo, because he supports her publicly and privately. The way he came in her room and put his head on her shoulder, like, I thought that was, honestly, this episode, Mateo was the best acting. Like, the scene going to Vanessa's house, that scene with Natalie, it's like so good. Like, it's funny, emotional, it's great.
I love Mateo.
I agree with you on the parents. I'm Black, so I understand, like, listen, don't make us look like a fool in front of these white kids. Yeah. But Mom, you taught me to finish the fight. What am I gonna do? Let her beat me up?
And I like what Mateo said. You didn't start it, but you finish it, and then he winks at her.
I think Mateo and Natalie have like the best relationship out of everyone on this show. Their dynamic is like amazing.
You do. I agree. Do you, though, think it was right for Natalie's mom to forbid her from seeing Amy because Amy has a past with violence and being in trouble? Maybe it's not necessarily violence, but it's just getting in trouble.
I just hope that it's not because she's gay and that's her girlfriend. Like, I really hope that's not like the underlying issue. Yeah. What were you going to say, Haley?
I think it's because she's kind of grasping for, I think she's searching for something not to like about this girl. So she finally found something to latch onto, because there's no way that she had that much of a reaction to her daughter being gay, and then the next episode she's like yelling at a woman in the store. Like, there has to be some type of growth, that because we didn't see that.
Yeah, they just need a therapy session, like the entire Garcia family, because none of them are on the same page, and that's why they're all falling apart. Like, none of them are talking anymore, and none of them are communicating anymore. Like, I guess this is the first time that like Daniel, Mateo, and Natalie are like finally like branching off and becoming independent people. So I guess that's why it's so hard for Mari and Rafael, but they really just need like a group therapy session to like recollect and evaluate. Like, they are the Garcias.
Yes, exactly. We are the Garcias. I really do hope, though, that Natalie's mom lets her see Amy. We don't know too much about Amy's character yet. There could be more that unfolds later on throughout the season, but I just get the impression that Amy, she's got in trouble before, but I don't think she has a bad influence on Natalie. So I think it might be coming from a different place. But Natalie and Mateo, like you said, they have a great relationship, and even Natalie is still with her family, and she tells Mateo, did you see that interview that Vanessa did? You're either gonna have to be loyal to your family or loyal to yourself. And Mateo's having a hard time because Vanessa is a great manager and she is giving him work.
Yeah, but Natalie should be having that conversation with Daniel, not Mateo. I think wrong brother. But I thought it was so funny when Mateo like goes to fire Vanessa, and Vanessa was like, I totally understand. Like, of course, like I don't think I should work for you either. And then Mateo gets all butthurt. He's like, no, like he wanted her to like fight for him.
I thought they were gonna kiss, Zach. I literally thought, I was like, they're gonna kiss, and I thought she was gonna go after him, and I was like, oh.
I don't know when they're gonna kiss. Like, this is like the longest time coming. Maybe on the final episode. Like, there's only like 3 episodes left.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, he looked like he was gonna cry too, so I don't know. Like, it was a lot.
He definitely really does care for Vanessa. Definitely friendship. Maybe it'll expand more into relationship, but I think he respects her and he really values her.
I don't look at my friends like that, Charles. I don't look at my friends.
I don't look at my friends that way. Okay.
Also, Vanessa hasn't showed any signs of liking Mateo, right? Has she?
No, she did. Yeah. She did. Remember when she walked away in the cafe and she turned around before she went out into the paparazzi that night at the cafe?
Okay.
She looked at him like, kind of like feeling it.
That's true, because Mateo was the one to convince Vanessa, don't put Noa and Daniel on blast. You're better than this. And so that was a way for Mateo and Vanessa to connect. But she was able to get Mateo a meeting with the hottest music producer in Miami. And this kills me here, because I feel like, especially in the entertainment industry, we know when someone high up looks at you and just says, yeah, you have talent, but you're nothing special, you can't help but take it to heart. And the worst part about it was he only wanted to have the meeting so he can work with Vanessa, and Mateo was just kind of off to the side. Oh, poor Mateo.
Do you know how many mediocre people there are in the music industry? Like Taylor Swift. Sorry to any of the Swifties out here.
So I'm gonna have to go now. Thank you so much.
We can't calm down right now, Haley.
Sorry.
I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. I'm kidding.
Come on. She's like, nothing is that great about her, but she's good enough to where she sells out stadiums. So why can't Mateo be the same?
I hope Mateo doesn't take that to heart. What were you gonna say, Amir?
No, all I was going to say, sorry, Zach, to interrupt, but all I was going to say is, like, I think Taylor Swift is a white girl and he's, Cuban. It's like, we have to talk about that too. Like, there was a reason that, like, the music industry, is historically, like, supports people and kind of certain people and not other people. And so I think that this guy was just kind of looking for a way to use Mateo and to like, it wasn't like constructive criticism. It wasn't like, okay, why don't you work on these beats or work on those? It was like, you're kind of a loser and you're not going to make it. And I'm looking for Vanessa. So it was mean. it was mean, man. And he took it to heart. Like, his whole voice changed. I had someone once early on, a producer, tell me that nobody wants to see gay people on TV. They were wrong. So, I mean, like that's how people are. And you just have to you have to have a thick skin. And I think Mateo is definitely going to be better because of this. Because now he's like, I'm going to work at my craft or whatever.
I almost wanted to cry for him for a second. I was like, dang.
Oh, yeah. Because even throughout that whole episode, like, in the beginning, he's hyped. He has this meeting. And then the rest of the episode after that meeting, it just went downhill. And you could just tell that his mood was really down. And he was even questioning himself. And he takes the headphones at the end of the episode and just walks away with them. So I really hope that he doesn't take it to heart. But Vanessa believes in him. And I love how Vanessa said, okay, even though, why would I want to work with a producer that doesn't believe in my client? I still believe in you. And you just need that one person. So that's where Mateo and Vanessa are really going to connect, because she's going to bring out the best of Mateo.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Where? Oh my gosh. That is her man.
But speaking of talent managers, really quick, Lewis.
Before we get to Lewis, we have a quick live chat. So Mateo and Vanessa will get together when Daniel and Noa are on their trip. That's a great hot take. And then maybe he may have been bearing it underneath Vanessa Princesa. And that's coming from Jackie Vega. So those are some good hot takes. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. Oh, you're fine. So Lewis, we find out that he does have an illness. We found out a couple episodes ago, but Piper confronts him and he has prostate cancer. And what I like about Lewis, though, and his character, is he always comes up with a positive way about it. And it's not like he's trying to be a downer. Like he realizes, okay, I got to take care of myself, but my main focus is Noa. I'll let her know. But he always spins it to be positive and that people don't need to worry about him. So I'm really liking him as a character. He's growing on me.
Yeah, people are always giving Lewis shit, or Gucci, as Daniel calls him, which I feel like is so funny that he still calls him that. But like Lewis is just like the hardest working like manager there is. And I really love that scene between him and Piper. Like there really is this soft side to Lewis that we don't get to see, or that Noa doesn't get to see. And like he doesn't even want to tell Noa that he has cancer. Like he really just like wants to like keep it so professional. And I also really like Piper. I'm glad that she's back. Like she's kind of underrated too.
Oh yeah, I love Piper. I think they're a great team. Noah's really lucky to have them, and now that her and Daniel are going to be taking a break next episode, possibly, it'll be great to see how their friendship is and how they work together and connect.
Yeah.
And then just really quickly, I know I mentioned with breaking down the walls, I do like how the family, I felt like, is taking all their anger and putting in towards trying to expand the bakery. But then they run into an issue where they have to close it down for 12 weeks for health concerns. So that is also going to be, I really do feel bad for the dad and the mom, because you just feel so happy for them. And then at the end, you're like, oh no. First they go through the scam, and then now they have to close the bakery for 10 or 12 weeks. So
yeah, they're really hitting a low point, but I think that they're Garcias. They're gonna come through
exactly.
with it.
That's what the dad says. We're Garcias. We have this. So that was pretty much the episode, but it was a lot. I feel like it was very fast moving, and we are definitely, the next couple of episodes are going to be really great. But let's go ahead and get into our special segment with Haley. Go ahead and explain your game, Haley.
Yes, so it is called the Shadiest Garcia. Basically, it's about who said the most questionable thing in the episode, or who just like tried it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Who's gonna go first, Haley?
I think I'll go first since I introduced it. So for me, it was definitely Daniel. Something about him blaming Vanessa and asking her to ask like the reporter to take down the video or to like change her statement made me so angry because she didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
I'll go next. I think it was Kirk and Daniel, that interaction between them in the bakery. And when Kirk says, oh, he brings his family into it, Daniel's family, and trying to bribe Daniel for that interview, I thought that was really not cool. You don't do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
just
with
so you can get an interview.
So sorry. I'm gonna go with Mari, the mom. Like, she's just been really pissing me off because I just feel like she's not accepting Natalie for being gay, and like she just won't come to terms with it. And like she's kind of like pretending to accept her, like in public, how you will see her defend her like at the dress store. And it's just making me mad because I just feel like they need to go to therapy, and like Mari just needs to understand that Natalie is gay and that it is okay. Like, relax. Like, I just feel like she hasn't accepted it yet, and she's making all these excuses, and it's just making me upset.
Yeah, it's a great point. I just don't think a Latin family is going to go to therapy, but that's going to be a hard sell. But I mean, if they would, that would be awesome. I would love that. I think who's going to be my person? I think, you know what? I think I have to pick Kurt, the entertainment reporter, because even though he's really cute and I had a big crush on him when I was a kid, just seeing him, like, he just created so many issues, and the way that it's like very TMZ, like they incite celebrities, and then when they react, they're like, oh, they're crazy. But you don't know what they said to them. So it's kind of, it's a little messed up.
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, that was a fun game, Haley. Thanks. I can't wait to do it next week on the Shadiest Garcia.
Sip on my tea.
And while she sips her tea. Okay.
We need to get like a tea.
Speaking of tea, we have news and gossip with Zach.
Yes. So Michelle Ventimiglia, who plays Vanessa, she took over the Baker and the Beauty Instagram this week, and she was kind of just sharing like the behind the scenes, and she posted on their Instagram saying, oh, days I didn't work, I'd miss these guys so much and often go to set to visit them or bother them, with a picture of her, Noa, and Daniel. So even though this love triangle is like super complex on the show. Behind the scenes, they're all getting along. They're all having fun. I think that everyone from this cast has like talked about how much fun filming was for them. But it's just not as fun when you're watching it on screen because there's so much drama between all these actors. So that's the news and gossip for today.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, I could tell that the actors all really care for each other. And when we bring them on for special guests, we had Michelle, David on. They were just saying we all just work really well together. So love it. Okay, let's get into our predictions. What do you guys think is going to happen for next episode?
Now,
Zach,
for
we'll start with
AfterBuzz
you.
TV predictions.
I think that Noa and Daniel might be, I don't want to say they're done, but like I just really think that Noa is gonna like tell Daniel that he needs to like kind of back off and like give her time. Like I almost think they're gonna go on like a break. I think that the Garcias, like the parents, they're gonna find a way to like really make this new bakery. They're gonna capitalize on it, and like they're not gonna like get down about it. I think that they're going to try and like design it or do something. And then I think we saw in the teaser, Natalie and Amy are gonna ditch school. So I think Natalie is just gonna get into so much more trouble and just make things so much harder for herself. But I think it will result in just like a bigger conversation happening because these Garcias are just like, they're not communicating with each other.
True. What about you, Haley?
I think there's going to be some type of weird love triangle between Daniel, Mateo, and Vanessa. Since Noah's leaving, I think he's going to go back to that old thing. You know what I'm saying? He's going to want to go back to her. But like Mateo's not going to like it. I also think Natalie's going to learn a lesson about skipping school. I'm all for like, you know, defending yourself in fights. But skipping school, I think she deserves like a punishment for that, like a grounding.
Oh yeah, I can see her doing that though. That's a good point.
Sure.
I got grounded for it, so I feel like she deserves it too.
Haley, what about you, Amir?
I think that I somewhat kind of piggyback off of what Haley said. I think that the love triangle is actually going to be between Mateo, Vanessa, and Kurt, though. I think the entertainment reporter is going to kind of weasel his way in. There was some kind of weird electricity between them, so I just think that something might happen, and he might use it to his advantage. Like he might set up a paparazzi on them when they kiss, and then be like, "Oh, Vanessa's moved on," you know, like with a new guy or something, and use himself as bait. Because he's kind of shady, so I don't really trust him. And then I think Noah's gonna have a pregnancy scare in Morocco.
Wow.
So she's gonna think she's pregnant with Daniel's baby.
Oh my gosh.
I thought there was going to be a pregnancy scare. It was a couple episodes back with the family dinner. I don't know, I just got the vibe that there was like this big news that was going to drop, and it could have been that. But speaking of Noa, I do think we are going to see interaction between her and her father, and we're going to know a little bit more of the backstory with their relationship and their family.
For sure.
And how that's going to play out. So, and I am still rooting for Mateo and Vanessa. I hope that Vanessa Mateo's confidence, because I do want to see him succeed in the music industry, and I'm hoping that the meeting with the producer didn't get him down too much, like he's still able to pick up where he left off at. But that was it for our after show. Gosh, we only have a couple more episodes left, a few more episodes left, so it's going by fast. Before we go, Zach, where can they find you on social media?
You guys can find me on Instagram at Zach Weinberg and Twitter at It's Zachary Bish. And I also think like it's just gonna be crazy, the finale. Like it's gonna lead us with like some type of cliffhanger, so there could be a season 2.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Haley?
You can find me everywhere at Haley Matthews with an _.
Perfect. And Amir?
Yes, you can find me at Amir Yas _ on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And I'm doing a live at 4 p.m. on Thursday with David Del Rio, who plays Mateo. If you want to get involved in that conversation, come to my Instagram.
Yes, be sure to check that out. And then you can find me on Instagram at Chelsea Overrocker and on Twitter at Chelsea Overrocker. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.